I feel like I've been waiting almost an eternity for this guy. It is the Kingdom Golden Disk version of Terrorsaur, but I've been waiting a lot longer for a proper version of Terrorsaur than when this guy was announced. I'll explain what I mean when we jump into this guy and everything to do with him in the latest GotBot True review. Hey all, welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, your most humble of hosts, Dennis Moulton, aka GotBot. As always, please like, comment, share, of course, subscribe, and while you're at it, light them up, baby! And hit that notification bell, please. It helps me out a ton. It lets you know when content of all sorts goes up here on the channel. Check out Machinery of Man, The Everything Factor, all the groups that I'm either a mod or an admin for, as well as all of my social media links. All of that in the description down below. Also in the description down below. And if you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use that donate link. Check us out on Patreon. See what we offer to you through Teespring, or of course, hit the join button right here on YouTube. Become a channel member. And this is Terrorsaur. This is the Golden Disk Collection Terrorsaur. And I've wanted a proper Terrorsaur since the 90s. We had the little basic one that came out, and it was all right. I have that. I've heavily customized it, and we'll see it in comparison to this guy. But it never really made me happy per se. Like I was happy. I was content with it. It's good. It's just I always thought it's kind of small for Terrorsaur. I'd like to have a bigger one, and we never really got it. I suppose we got the Transmetal one, but like, I mean, a proper, you know, on-screen accurate or semi-accurate, the way he looked in the show, like a proper Terrorsaur. Until now. And even this isn't perfect, but it's certainly better than what the original was. That being said, I have heard of a lot of issues with this guy. Super loose ankles, wingtips falling off and popping off, and what have you. I don't think he's perfect, but I do think he's very strong. And I'll explain all of that when we head over to the table and take a closer look at this guy. And yes, indeed, we're here at the main event of the Transformers Golden Disk Collection. Now, for me, I did get Puffer and Road Rage. Road Ranger, sorry. I wasn't gonna get Puffer and Road Ranger, but, you know, Cardboard Bots had the right opportunity at the right time, so I got it off of him. Then I did get Jackpot and Sights. I like Action Masters. What can I say? I wasn't gonna get them, but I do like Action Masters, so I broke down and got them. Didn't get the Tigatron repaint. It's an okay mold. I'm not blown into the water with it like a lot of people have been. It's all right. Neat, I guess. Really, what I wanted all along was this guy, and I finally do have him. Of course, before we can jump into looking at him, you know what we gotta do. Take a quick look at that good old packaging first. This is, of course, a quarter of a golden disc. Once you get it all four, you can put the boxes together and have a picture of a golden disc, if that's what you really want. It says Terrorsaur up here, and on the back, we have the product images, of course, as we usually do. Oh, we got ourselves some instructions. I mean, I don't know if we really need them for the most part. I mean, this is basically the Kingdom Airazor / Maximal Skywarp mold. Yeah, there's a slight difference with how the head transforms, but generally these are fine. I just don't know if they were needed for anything. And it's this golden disc. Now, the Ark came with two golden discs, the Voyager disc and the Vok disc. This is the Vok disc. It is a slightly darker gold than the version that comes with the Ark. Interestingly, it is referred to, like in the package and whatnot, as the Voyager disc because it does have the Voyager record recording. But all of the symbols are not the Voyager symbols, they're the Vok symbols. So I don't know if the Vok side of this print is in error, or if the fact that it was called the Voyager disc when it clearly is not was an error, which means this recording side would be an error because this was only on the Voyager, not the Vok. I know, it's complicated. It's one of the two golden discs. Down bottom we have the blaster from the original Terrorsaur. It folds in half and kind of stores behind his head. And we have the blaster of the new one, which I actually really like. There are some painted like rectangular tabs on either side of this new blaster. And they go into the leg or the wing. And they kind of look like this, at least in bird mode or pterodactyl mode. So yeah, it just tabs into a vertical rectangular slot on the leg. If you don't want it on the leg, then you can use this little slot under the wing and tab it in. I think it's about as successful of storage as we're going to get. We also have two of these little like silver fin blade things. I already have them put into his forearm. They are easy to miss and throw away. They're in the package, on the back of the package, taped onto the cardboard, on the like cardboard insert. They're taped onto the cardboard insert and on the back, and they're wrapped in like tissue paper. Real easy to forget them and throw them away. And here we have the Golden Disk Terrorsaur and the original, I don't know what it was called, basic or whatever, Terrorsaur. This one mostly spring-loaded, a ton of custom paint work done on this guy, like the yellow beak and the white teeth and the white eye with the pupil and the claws and even the shading back here over the green to make it a darker red, the silver. Like, there's a lot done with this guy. Still great, obviously much smaller than the Golden Disk lad. Okay, so in this mode, the mouth can open and close. The head can turn left and right. It's too bad that this is green with the pupil. I wish that it was white with the pupil. The wings can go up and they have the exact same hinges. This goes in and out. The legs can go out to the side. They can kind of go forward and back a bit. We have the ankles that can go all the way around. And even the like little tail section can come up if you want it to come up. This is kind of what it looks like from the top. A lot of molded in texture detail here that I personally really like. I think that this looks beautiful. Before I go on, I'm just going to say this right now. A lot of people say that these wingtips pop right off. Mine don't. Mine have stayed on fine since I got it. So I guess it's not a universal thing. If I was to really get nitpicky, I would say the left one might be looser than the right one, but neither have fallen off, neither's gonna fall off, they're fine. I tell you what does bug me, and it doesn't seem like it's coming through on camera the same, but these tips are a lighter shade of red than the main body in here. They're more like the same shade of red as the tail fin here. It's a bit weird how they have the two shades like that. It's not hateful, but it's just a little odd. I don't know if this is paint and this is plastic, but I feel like it's all just red plastic. So why do you use two shades of red for your plastic? I don't know, but whatever. It is what it is. Okay, we're going to do the transformation for this guy really quick because it's very familiar to the Airazor Skywarp transformation, which we have seen before in the past. We're going to pick off a leg. I guess I'll take that off his leg for transformation. We're going to straighten out the leg. We're going to bring it down. We're going to straighten up that little ankle piece. And then something that everybody seems to be forgetting. Turn the foot around, man. He has two little spikes here. Those little spikes are on his boot, shoe, foot. They should be out front. Take it off a tab over here. There's a little tab that goes into the thigh. Rotate that down. Straighten out the leg. Straighten out the foot. Turn this around. Then we can turn the entire waist around. After we do that and have the silver out front, then we can turn a thigh and turn a thigh. The arms have a little tab on them that goes into a little slot. You should be able to just pick out an arm and pick out an arm. If you haven't already put in the, I'm going to put these wing pieces down too. If you haven't already put in the silver, I don't know, fins, blades, whatever, do it now. Straighten out a wrist, rotate at the bicep, straighten out a wrist, rotate at the bicep. We're getting there. We're getting there. I'm going to stand the guy up and then we're going to just finish the kind of torso part off. I guess if you really want, you could always like leave the bird head there. It's weird looking, but you could certainly do it. That being said, we should really kind of pick off the tail fin, bring the whole head section back, and all of this lifts off. When it lifts off, the body, oh, actually, when it lifts off, we should bring out the robot mode head. Instead of, like with Airazor and Skywarp, instead of the whole thing flipping through so the head comes up, now the head is on its own piece and just flips up. The chest is static. It stays right where it belongs. We turn the head of the pterodactyl around. We bring it down all the way on the back. Okay. Then we collapse this down. There are a couple of like gray hinges in here. You'll see how this almost sort of semicircles down into place. Once we have that done, we can close up the back. There's a couple of little rectangular tabs here that go into a couple of holes sort of on the shoulder blade sections. Bring that in and put it in, and make sure I have that down there, the pterodactyl head down there. And then boom, in the end here we have Terrorsaur in his robot mode. And here he is next to my custom version of his original self. Let's talk about the paint apps while we're here, because the paint apps I did on the original were really meant to make him a 10 out of 10, and they come pretty darn close to being about as animation accurate as you possibly can get. So we're going to start from the bottom and work our way up. First things first, the toes do have 2 spikes on them. They should be silver, and the little talons, they should be silver. The talons and the spikes on the feet of the kingdom are unpainted, so they'll have to be done. Coming up the front of the leg, yeah, there's mostly red. There should be a little silver streak, a little silver line that comes out just under the knee. In the kingdom's case, the kneecap basically is silver. I can accept that. I can buy that as a suitable location for it. But also around the knee, there should be like a little black circular section. That's not there. The thigh should not be red. The thigh should be silver. The pelvis should be silver. The torso underneath the chest piece should be silver. So far, the kingdom got all of that. So we're missing some paint apps on the toes and the talons. A little bit of a black paint app, and the thigh should be silver. That's what we're missing so far. Then we get to the arms. The hands should be red with the fingers being silver. The fingers of the kingdom are not silver. The bicep should be silver. The bicep is half silver here. The shoulder should be silver. The shoulder is red on the kingdom. And there should be black in the circle. So this circle where the pin is on the kingdom really should be black. The head is perfect on the kingdom. Perfect. The wings being standoffish on the back, well, the wings should actually be like on his arms rather than on his back. So neither one of it really gets the wing positioning quite right for how it should be for Terrorsaur. As such, I'm going to say that the Kingdom Terrorsaur with no custom paintwork is still obviously Terrorsaur, but he is missing a nice few details. I'm going to say it's about an 8. It's definitely a great Terrorsaur, but they could have done a little bit more to make it just ideal. Now again, before anybody ever says, yeah, but Kingdom is its own thing. He probably looks different in that universe. That's the lazy... I hate when they say that, because that's the laziest excuse for being lazy in the world. We all know that Terrorsaur has an animation model. We all know what that animation model looks like. We all know how prominent he was in Beast Wars. This guy should look like that. You can disagree if you like, but the fact is, any justification of missing paint apps is laziness. Don't do it. Expect more. For the prices of these things, expect more. I don't think some silver paint and some black paint was a little too much to ask. Just saying. Still looks wonderful. Love the guy. Really do. Just wish we had a little bit more in the paint department. The transformation, I adore this transformation. I'm going to say it's 10. I love it. I absolutely love it. Here he is also next to good old Scorponok here. Looks pretty good alongside our boy Terrorsaur. This one is the Kingdom one that has a waist extender and thigh extenders. I looked at that a while ago. I'm not sure which episode it was. I'll put a card or something up there for you fine folks. Naturally, the whole reason that Deluxe Class Scorponok was as tiny as he was, and he was tiny, is because in the animation, Scorponok is shorter than Terrorsaur. They already had Terrorsaur as this tall, lanky Deluxe Class, so it is what it is. Now that being said, I spoke at length in GotBot Goes Live when this guy was announced, saying, whoa, 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 Voyager Terrorsaur, and they're selling a deluxe mold and calling it Voyager. I really panned it. It has since come to my attention that the reason this was called Voyager Terrorsaur is because it's Voyager Disk Terrorsaur, even though that disc is Vox like we already talked about. And finally, for my personal display, I plan to pair him with this guy. This is my heavily customized original Beast Wars Scorponok. I honestly, again, I'll put a link to this guy so you can see everything in its glory. This guy does have 2 of the same claw. That's deliberate. I didn't really want the bee claw because I'm like, I don't remember the bee on the show or anything, and I don't really care about it. So Good friend of the channel, Bacon from T-Formers, supplied me with an extra claw, so I really can't thank him enough because it really helps this guy to pop. Even if I was to get the vintage reissue, which I suggest you get the vintage reissue because this mold is fantastic. In fact, I suggest you get the vintage reissue of Scorponok over the Kingdom one. But I feel like this looks good together. Yeah, I know Scorponok's supposed to be shorter, and though his tail comes up over here, you know what? He is ever so slightly shorter. I like this. He looks bulkier and stumpier. He looks more slender and tall. I love the look of it. And with a 10 for transformation and an overall about an 8 for the look of the guy, what about the articulation? Well, the head, it goes left, right, little up, not much down, a little wiggle down. The wings move like all the wings of Airazor or Skywarp moves. The arms, they can go all the way around, bicep swivel, elbow, missing a wrist. That is a bummer. Not a deal breaker, but it is a bummer. We do take that off because it does like pop off with certain movements. We do have a waist. We do have like all the way out to the side, all the way forward, all the way back. The tail fin is in your way, get it up so you can go back even further. We have a thigh swivel. We have super deep knee. We have, I guess this, if you wanted to do that. Why you would want to do that, I don't know. And then we have ball joint ankles that go every which way. So what about the QC issues that people have experienced with this guy? I haven't experienced them. I guess I'm lucky, thankful. My wingtips don't fall off. A lot of people have said that they have found the ankles super loose. Mine are slightly loose, like maybe slightly looser than my Airazor, but nothing worth talking about. And as you can see, he stands just fine, just like an absolute champion. Love the guy. I would say the articulation, I'm missing wrists. That's it. So 9.5 for the articulation. Overall, because of his 8 and his 10, he was getting a 9, now a 9.5. This is easily a 9.25. If the paint was just a little bit better, this would be like a 9.75. There's no way it's going to be an outright 10 because just the placement of the wings in general is never going to be accurate with this mold. But I think for a modern update of Terrorsaur, considering how long it's taken us to get this update of Terrorsaur and considering how well it functions, I think that this might be the quintessential version of this Beast Wars Predacon in a lot of people's collections for a long, long time. The very final thing I want to do to get us out of here and back to our little outro is I feel like I gotta end this with the most glorious part of this guy. That absolutely perfect, beautiful head sculpt. I can forgive some of the missing paint in other places because that head sculpt is so quintessentially Terrorsaur. And here we are once again, and here he is. So, the bad. I wish he had some more paint apps to be as accurate as possible to the animation from Beast Wars. I may add some of those. I don't know yet because I do like the way that he looks just stock. We'll see. I don't know if I care about it enough to add the extra, but we'll see. The silhouette of the body, the styling, the molding, and that head sculpt are quintessentially Terrorsaur. It's beautiful. Granted, the wings should be on his arms, and they aren't. They're on his back, but I can accept it. Like, it doesn't look out of place to me. My ankles, like, they move forward a little bit and up a little bit and to the left and the right a little bit, and they're pretty solid. My guy stands just fine. I know a lot of people say theirs doesn't. That's unfortunate. If it was me, I think I would pop the foot off then. I would probably either build up the ball peg with a little bit of Bondic, or I would probably spray the ball peg with some clear coat and let that harden. Actually pop the thing back on and let it harden and move it around, and I've had great success with that, but I don't feel like I need to do any of that. In terms of the wing pieces, like this tip over here might loosen. I've never had it fall off yet, but I keep pushing it. I don't know why. I don't really have any reason to push it. It's not doing anything. It's not coming out or anything like that. It's just there's something that feels funky about the left one. But that being said, like, I shake the guy and Like, nothing's coming out here. Like, it's solid as attack. He's good. He's great. I waited this long for Terrorsaur. I heard the good and the bad as people were getting them. I became a bit nervous. I couldn't really be happier unless he had wrists and maybe the wings somehow attached to the arms, and maybe that would just make it more cumbersome. I don't know. As he is, the articulation is top-notch. The transformation's fun. The pterodactyl mode looks great. Like I said, wrists. That's about it for me. Love the guy. Let me know what you think about Terrorsaur. How did yours turn out? I appreciate you guys coming by, giving me some of your extremely valuable time. I do know how important it is to you. If you're in a position to help the channel to grow, you can use the donate link. You can check us out on Patreon. You can see what we offer to you through Teespring. Or, of course, you can hit the join button right here on YouTube and become a member. While you're at it, hit the subscribe button. Stick around. Have some fun with us here on the channel. Don't forget, man, that somehow, some way, each and every single day, you right there, you do make a difference. Came with this thing too, the Golden Disk. That's always cool to have. Anyway, I look forward to the next time that you and I get together to have another visit. Either in the live streams on Thursday nights at the stop motion premieres or the old fashioned way, baby, right here, inside the videos.